All right, are we live yet? It's loading up, and we'll give it just a moment here, and hopefully everything is loading. Looks like YouTube is up. I think Facebook up yet? Facebook is live. Also, everybody's live. Let me get my profile up, and then we'll be good to go. All right. So give me just a moment here, guys, and we'll get everything flowing. All right, so let's get the Facebook profile also going, and then we'll be fully live everywhere, and we'll get this party started here. All right, so yeah, obviously I'm going to try stream here. Obviously we have all three platforms going at the same time, right? I have all three stuff going at the same time, so hopefully we get a nice solid stream here this morning. So yeah, guys, for those on YouTube who are not used to this, I'm probably only going to be doing mostly the bike cardio for now for you guys, which you're still going to get a live stream every day, but it's at a point where, all my stuff is fully set up. It's just better for me to do the extra ones out walking, right? The walking ones need to be done on Facebook for one, be better money. Two, I don't get the disconnects. I don't have the screen problems we have. But also I've noticed that when I'm doing tons and tons of the walking lives, my informative videos seem to hit people's feed at a lower rate. So we end up not getting any better views for it, right? So it's just better to do it that way. But I'm still going to give you guys live streams. You're going to have ones on the bike. So you're still going to get them. It's not like you're not going to get live streams, guys. But it will all be cross-promoted, meaning I'm streaming everywhere right now. So if I'm doing the cardio on the bike for you guys on YouTube, know that I'm running on Facebook, and I'm running on my Facebook profile too, my page and my profile. We just have it all running at the same time. So hopefully we get people in here. We get some good questions going. Ted, what's up, man? Client Ted's the first commenter. It's choppa time, right? There we go. I need to get you a sheet here later today. I figured you could have a day off after a late day, but I do need to get you a sheet. You and Justin both need to work out today. So I haven't forgot about you guys. Don't worry. We got to get cardio done, though. It's still early in the morning for the most part. Even though I've already done 3 hours of cardio, we want to get it all sorted. We want to get it all done, get it all finished up here. And I'm not running them really long on the profile, though. There's no point in triple dipping that long because it doesn't get that many views there, right? It doesn't get that many views there. Let me make sure the volume is good here, though. Sometimes it turns my mic down. It's doing okay. But Ted, you got to drop me a like there also. But let's see if we can get some comments and questions, because the Facebook is still a little slower on it. I'm not getting that many. The second one didn't get really any. The first one got about 60 questions. So again, hopefully this kind of kicks off. For those viewing in on the profile who don't know what I'm doing here, you'll see this. I do all this fasted cardio in the morning. When I do them on the bike, I stream to all of my platforms, including my profile. I'll just say hello to everyone there, right? So I have YouTube and Facebook fitness page all going. So everything is just streaming all at once. All right. I'll have to ban that guy. Guy keeps messaging me, hello, Jason, from some third world country on Facebook. He's popping up. I'm going to have to block him because I don't need my inbox with just that nonsense. It's supposed to be for business inquiries. All right. Jacob says, Coach, I'm currently 25 and the work grind phase of my life. How much effect do you think running 250 tests a week will have on my ability to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week? I live in the UK. Okay, so there's no legal problem for you in the UK. For those who are unaware, their laws are a little different. It's not using or having user amounts of testosterone is not illegal in this country. What do you mean? How much will have? It may enhance your ability to work 12 hours a day. You're going to have improved work capacity and improved drive from that. I mean, slightly super physiological amounts of testosterone for someone who's grinding and working, it's going to positively impact your work as long as you get to keep everything balanced with your mindset with it. Before people say, well, that affected negative. No, that's such a small amount of testosterone. He's not talking about 1,000. He's not talking about 2,000. He's talking about 250 milligrams. A little bit different of a game there. It'll probably have a positive impact on that, to be honest. I mean, obviously, go keep up with your blood work and health and everything. Make sure that you're eating a healthy, clean diet if you're going to do that amount. Make sure your stuff is in order, right? Um, right. Guy says, got to get my carbs up. Have strongman coming up. Well, then bump your carbs, man. Rice and potatoes, rice and potatoes. Rice and potatoes will do you good, brother. Right? Name of the game. That'll help you out. It'll help a brother out. Make sure the profile doesn't close out on me here. So absolutely hit that rice and potatoes, man. Very, very simple. Again, especially with strongman comp, you're going to need a lot of carbs in preparation for a strongman competition. It's going to be very glycogen dependent, higher volumes of training. Do you think it's very hard to get fat? Well, it depends on how much fat you're eating. Peppermint, what's up, dude? I told you guys, you're still going to get the bike lives. I'm just not going to be walking. New era for the lives, pretty much, man. And it has to be. It has to be. So I did 3 hours of walking on Facebook already. Right? We did 3 hours of walking. I respect your choice. Yeah. But I mean, you guys need to remember, Peppermint, YouTube is still going to get stuff. This YouTube has not been my primary other than the lives. It is my secondary social media. So I'm still going to stream to you guys, but I'm going to do it while I'm concurrently doing another stream while we're doing Facebook at the same time. You know, makes sense, brother. I mean, we got to do what's right. Plus, I mean, realistically, Peppermint, have you noticed it while I'm doing all these lives, my normal video views have gone down on YouTube. That's not helpful. They've been going up on my Facebook and down on my YouTube. So, you know, it's not helping my overall channel. I've seen no net improvement on this channel at all from the hours of them. Like YouTube doesn't reward high levels of activity. Facebook wants you on Facebook all the time, right? Like they thrive on that, and they tell you that as content creators. Like, we want you on here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? They told us that when I had a meta class, like with actual conference calls that they gave me for a fitness creator group a couple of years back. And they told us that they're like, no, ideally, like we want our creators on the platform all the time. You're not posting something every couple hours, it's a problem. Like, they're like, we reward high output. YouTube does not notice. So, you know, you got to look at their business models. Got to look at the business models. All right, anything happening here? Viewers on YouTube, no questions. The first stream on Facebook had like 60 comments, though. Second one didn't. So we'll see what it does. All right. So not much happening on the profile, though. I want to at least put something up there for it every day to keep it flowing. So I'm going to say goodbye to the people on my profile. And I'm going to turn that into a reel real quick and get back to all my fitness people. All right. We will get back to the fitness people. Right. Does a rounded back even 50% of one my deadlifts mean bad form and not muscle? Rounded back, I need you to be specific. Back is too vague of a term. What part of your back? Right. Right. And when does the back round? So I need to know what part of the back and when does the back actually round? Like, this is extremely relevant to the conversation. It's not a moot point. Right? It's not a minor point. If that doesn't, will I likely be needing an AI? Depends on your body fat and your rate of aromatization. Jacob, how fat are you? What's your body fat like? And you're not going to know till you get there. But I mean, if you're relatively lean, probably not. Like, if you're like 12% body fat, I bet you won't. Well, it's going to depend on the person. Alexander, what protein overfeeding weight loss tool works on only if you overeat protein in absence? No, it works with the others, but it's not weight loss. It's very, very minor metabolic benefit, Alexander. We're talking people who overfeed the protein, right? People who overfeed the protein. It's a very small amount of fat loss. Like you're not going to lose a bunch of weight. You're not going to lose like 10 pounds of body weight from the heavy protein overfeeding itself, right? And no, it's not in the absence. It's creating a surplus through eating hundreds of grams of extra protein a day when you're already on a high protein diet. Why don't we see you use kettlebells at all? Have I missed something? I just don't use them much. I have kettlebells. I just haven't had a need for them. I just don't really work with them much. You think if your squat goes, everything else follows suit? No, not necessarily. No, not always. Lower middle back. I need you to pick one. Those are two different things. Probably needs to look at it further. Yeah, I need to see what's up with your form. It's usually rounding back is not always an issue, guys. Wow. Sorry, I have an important message to handle. Muscle is made out of food. No, muscle is made out of connective tissue. It's made out of tissue proteins. So how much of your actual food that you eat can turn into muscle? Like a couple of grams of the protein that you eat every day. Does eating all protein needs for a day in one window work? It's not ideal, Alexander. I mean, I would at least spread it out through a couple of meals. Would you say someone should run a novice program till they hit 1, 2, 3, 4 for 5 reps? No. A lot of people are not going to be able to sustain that. A lot of people are not going to reach those for 5. Some people aren't even going to reach them for 1 on a novice program before they have to change programming. Some people will go way beyond that. Adrian says, "What's up, Coach? How you doing, Adrian? All right, how are you doing?" No comments on Facebook. All right, back over to the comments. I could easily get a 12%. However, I got some guy who's just going through puberty. It was a fat kid, though. Hey, Jacob, you're going to want to keep an AI on hand. Definitely have it on hand. Coach, how do you know when you have hit plateau versus just natural strength variance? I don't understand the question, Peppermint. What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, plateaus are normal. Everyone's going to hit plateaus. Sometimes it just goes slow from that point. What do you mean, are you hacking the system? What are you talking about? Do you have any issues with mixing rep ranges in a workout? No, Adrian, I mix rep ranges all the time. I mean, yesterday you saw me do heavy singles. You saw me do 10s on compound movements. You saw me do 30 reps with reverse hypers, and I did sled work right after. Like I did the sled work immediately after the workout. Right? Is programming that important? I mean, to some extent, yeah. You need to have some basic idea of what you're doing if you're not that strong yet. Hey, Jason, thoughts on upper lower with arm day versus full body? Um, Depends on what do you find works for you. Again, all these approaches can work, Mike. I don't have like a preference of one of these is going to give better gains than another. It comes down to what fits your mindset in life and what you are doing best. You can make phenomenal gains on full body, on an upper lower, on a body part split. People can make great gains on all of them. It's a matter of how are you programming them and how do they fit with your life and what you're trying to do. All right. How do you know when to push programs as a starter? If you're not enjoying it, you're feeling stale and stagnant. You've been running a program for months. For months, you're starting to get stagnant. Um, and you're not enjoying it, you're not feeling it, it might be time to change a few months in. Because you have to be able to enjoy what you're doing and you have to feel not stale and stagnant. So those are usually signs, usually psychological in nature. It's usually psychology more than anything else as far as when you need to switch programming, because good programming is good programming. But if you're not getting it from a mindset perspective, and it's not doing what you need it to do psychologically, and you're feeling stale, that's oftentimes times to change, especially if it's been that way for several months. What's a good neck strength builder for someone using one of those neck harnesses? What do you mean? The neck harness is the strength builder. You put a plate on and you do, sets of 15 to 20 reps. If you're only doing one bicep curl per week, what would be a better choice, barbell curl or preacher curl? Oh man, Benjamin, that's a tough one. I'm going to say probably the barbell curl is probably going to do a little bit better overall for bicep development itself. If you had to pick between the two, it's just a better overall exercise with more potential. It really is kind of a compound movement. And because if you're using a straight bar, a little bit more bicep. But to be fair, I don't think it's horrifically bad to do a preacher curl. If you really enjoy preacher curls and you really get that deep contraction and stretch that you want out of it and you happen to prefer it, I don't think it's a bad choice. But if all other factors are equal, I'm going to lean in the direction of that barbell curl. It's just a better overall exercise. But we come back over to, do you really feel that you get a lot out of that preacher curl? Like, do you really get an intense bicep contraction and stretch out of it? Does it feel more effective to you than the barbell curl, no matter what you do? Well, in that case, then I wouldn't say the preacher curl is a bad choice there. But barring that situation, I'm going to lean in the direction of the barbell curl. Michael says, without using a neck harness, I don't know. I guess you could put a plate on or dumbbell on your head and just try to do stuff with it and barely hold the weight. I mean, that would be an option. You could definitely do that with a dumbbell. The harness makes it a lot more easier. Looked up video from 4 years ago, pretty much same form today, just a bit stronger. Cool. Excellent. Have you messed much with isometric holds? No, I'm not a big fan of isometrics. Right? I'm not a big fan of isometrics personally. Tommy chimed in on Facebook. What really matters is intensity. Most simply don't know how to train with proper intention, know how to actually what failure feels like. I found, right, Tommy? They don't know what muscle failure actually is. It's like muscle failure is when you go to move the weight and it stops moving. You attempt to do a rep and the weight simply will no longer move. And you usually know a couple reps ahead of time before that happens. Right? And so there's definitely some truth to what you're saying, Tommy. I've had clients like that too. They're like, oh, this is close to failure. I'm 1 rep in reserve. I'm like, dude, you got like 7 reps in reserve. And then I showed it to him. I got on camera with him. I'm like, no. Put 5 more pounds on that dumbbell and let's take it to failure. They went from 12 reps or 11 reps of 1 rep in reserve to when I put 5 more pounds on it, he got 17 reps when I made him keep going. Giovanni says, "Sup, coach, I'm down 10 pounds. I've maintained muscle mass according to not entirely accurate in-body fat tester." Yeah, those inaccurate. It's not useful. But is it fair on if you're dieting correctly and eating correctly, Giovanni, to say that you could lose 10 pounds and maintain the muscle? It's very doable. Like that's not that difficult. If you're eating correctly, protein's good, you're training right. So not unbelievable. Just that we know those scales are not particularly useful. All right, hop back over to YouTube. Caught some. I don't know who that is. Thoughts on Casino Real? Mike, are you talking about from a movie? If he was in a movie, he's probably on gear. That's just Hollywood actors do that. Doesn't mean it's not obtainable natural. It just means actors are usually on drugs. Hey, Jacob, we don't cover non-fitness question. My YouTube, we only cover fitness topics, no other topics. Right? I don't answer questions like that at all. Coach, will you be pushing a sled on the regular? Yeah, I'm going to do it on the regular. Could my increased level of herpes, the herp, be a result of overtraining or malnutrition? Training. It's possible. Ask your doctor. So go talk to your doctor about that. If you're having that and you're having more flare-ups with something like that, it could be related to your immune system and your training, but not necessarily. I would go ask your doctor. Right? Does nucleus overload even work, or depends? I hate that term, by the way. Let's just call it high frequency training. The term is so stupid. Megan, I'm not even going to go on a rant about Megan again. I clowned Megan 12 years ago for his silly terms. And he used to get mad about it. I used to clown him all the time for his dumbass terms and not knowing exercise science. But, in theory, sure, doing curls every day might be helpful. But realistically, probably not that good. But good work on that. I'm going to give a love over here to Giovanni for that loss. Tommy says, I personally switched to hack squats as my squatting movement. Occasionally, pendulum squat is on my knees and back can't handle the barbell squats. Could be some stuff going on there that needs adjustment then, Tommy. You know that I like the hack squat machine personally too. I just don't like to see someone take barbell squats out completely unless they have to. But you do know that I like the hack squat machine. I'm actually a fan of it. I think it actually works pretty dang good, all things considered. I've started feeling sharp pain on lateral raises. Have you had some similar? If you're getting sharp pain on lateral raises, try switching to plates and see if it's more natural. But if it keeps hurting, then just stop doing them. Not the end of the world. What part of your protein composition you say is plant derived? For me, dude, I probably eat 70 grams of plant protein a day. At least 50. So probably a third of my protein, possibly a little more. Hey, Racehorse, I've already identified you. I'm just going to, I don't care about hip shift at all. Nobody should care about hip shift. Just squat. Drive your knees out more. Done, and keep squatting. Coach, what might be the muscle weakness on conventional deadlift when the hips rise first? Your setup is the weakness. Right? Remember when Borat says, her legend gets loose like sleeve of lizard, right? That's your setup. You're dropping too low. Quit trying to squat the weight up. You're dropping your hips too low and you're getting them loose. That's why the hips are rising. Benjamin, since squats and squat variations work the outer quad more than the leg extension, would they contribute to the carry? No. They don't work the outer quad. And the outer quad gives you the teardrop. What are you talking about? The leg extension works the rectus femoris, the top chunk more. So go look at Franco Colombo's thigh, who had over a 600-pound squat. Built his legs squatting mostly, and then tell me what a squat thigh looks like. Does arm size correlate with wrist size? Not really. I don't think that it really does. No, I think Mike's asking about that. All those old school measures you guys talk about your wrist size versus your maximum bicep size. No, I don't think they're that related, honestly. I'll get back to Paul on that. All right. Client Paul is messaging me. He may hop over in here now. Do you realize I'm live? He jumps into a lot of these. Tried different angles and plates, but no luck. Low to high face pulls work fine. Yeah, okay. So if laterals are hurting in your shoulder, but face pulls feel fine, then toss the laterals out and do face pulls, brother. That's a very simple. Tommy asked on Facebook, what's your thoughts on cream of rice? I've tried switching to that instead of oats. Kept getting upset stomach and severe bloating in the last 6 months. It's lower fiber. I'm not a huge fan of doing a lot of low fiber carbs. I don't always know what's in cream of rice. I guess you need to see the ingredients list too. But if you just need something for faster carbs that isn't upsetting your stomach, if you're having some issues with too much fiber, keep in mind your history with the issues you had from being a vegan before, the other GI tract issues you got from that. Could be acting up on you a little bit there still. But why do you need the cream of rice? So if you just want rice, my question is, why do we have to have breakfast foods at all? Couldn't you just make rice for breakfast instead of the cream of rice? Just throwing out their suggestion. There's no universal law written by God handed down to you in the commandments saying you have to eat breakfast foods for breakfast, right? It's not a thing. You could just eat rice. Dr. Matt, let's not call him a doctor when he says that bands have moved the force curve. Dude, you didn't really call him a doctor, did you? Come on. Oh my God, after all that fiasco, he's not a doctor. Just stop. That bands can move, but bands absolutely do change the force curve. Absolutely. They completely change the force curve tremendously. If someone is skinny as cardio pointless, no, cardio has health benefits for everyone. Just squat nice and deep and your legs will develop just fine. I agree, feed me mortals. Tony D says rice cakes. Benjamin asks, do you generally recommend pausing at the bottom of squats? Will this add more to your... No, I mean, you can do pause squats. I like them sometimes, but you can use a stretch reflex. I don't think you're necessarily going to get more gains. It is good to learn to stay tight though, right? And it can force you to use a slightly lighter weight if axial loading is an issue and you're just trying to get big. Tommy says, thanks for that, Jason. Good points and appreciated. You are most welcome, Tommy. I think people forget that point. You know, I had someone say that in the comments earlier too, like, wow, I'd never thought about, we don't have to have breakfast foods for breakfast. You can eat the same foods you eat later. You can have chicken and rice for breakfast. There's no universal law requiring you to have breakfast foods. Hi, Jason. How come you back to... I'm not necessarily doing minimalist, dude. I'm doing curls, man. Coach doing curls because I'm doing full body. There's going to be some minimalism. Plus, I'm doing tons of cardio. Plus, I'm cutting, right? We're not going to see a lot of gains from doing a lot of isolation. But I'm going to do arms like crazy. I'm going to say, is it true minimalism when I'm literally doing barbell curls and banded curls at the end of every workout? I don't know that it really is. You know? I do 6 big basic exercises plus a bunch of arms. Plus, I'm doing sled work now, too. That's still a hypertrophy movement. Is Johnny Sins natty or not? Thoughts on his physique and thoughts on using raw honey animal-based. Raw honey animal-based diets are stupid. The whole animal-based carnivore thing will destroy your health. It's dumb. No, I think Johnny Sins used a little bit of test. Ted asked him, sauna boost free testosterone? Probably not. Jacob says, does it matter if I'm squatting with 1 foot an inch or so in front of the other, or am I being pedantic? You are, but is it really in front of the other, or is it just how you're perceiving it from the way you're stepping out? Also, it could be your natural position because we don't always have symmetrical hip angles. So your perfect angles literally might be 1 foot angled more than the other, and that is where you were balanced in terms of your hip structure. If I had Johnny Sin's job, I'd be using tests too, right? Fair point. But yeah, Tommy, you are most welcome. Are you still in there, Tommy? So, right. Man, we're doing good, guys. We're at 3.5 hours of cardio today. So we did 3 hours walking on Facebook. Now we're streaming on the bike on YouTube and Facebook concurrently. Tommy says several bodybuilders have passed away recently. Joe DeVance, 20 years old, died after a heart attack. Yep, it's honestly it's the diuretics that killed her. A separate incident to Neil Courier, fresh body died age 44 with his parents attributing his death this. Blah blah blah. Tons of them are dying. And it's not just the anabolics, guys. It's the whole entire cocktail of the drugs. It's the lifestyle, the diuretics. It's just large numbers of compounding factors, and it's going to continue to be that way. I've said it's going to get worse and worse, and it kind of has. But it's not like the judging has stopped, changed anything. I mean, modern bodybuilding has become a death cult. I called that 12 years ago, and it still holds true today. Gio Marco, no hate, but you said many times. Right, but I'm training it on the cut. But Gio, I'm going to continue to push arms really hard. Like the arms are going to get a lot of focus anyway. You break it down. Plus, those workouts are not that long. Plus, I'm doing pull-ups fairly early in. Plus, I'm doing dips and bench early in. So, I'm going to get triceps. I'm actually considering, though, just throwing the deep extensions in also instead of the pullovers right now because I get a pullover effect on it. But let's be fair. I'm on a cut. Do we really think my arms are going to grow a bunch anyways? But I am going to do more bicep volume than the other body parts, which is kind of what you're seeing. My training is very arm biased, right? I'm just curious if testosterone declines in men as we age, why does grip strength peak? I don't know, the grip strength peaks at 30 to 40, but it's also, why are you associating normal testosterone production with muscle? Do you really think that matters? Like, you've been really misled. If you really think fluctuations in the normal healthy testosterone range significantly affect muscle growth, you bought a whole bunch of Kool-Aid. People are confusing injecting large amounts of testosterone bodybuilders with their normal production. Dude, a 20% change in your testosterone in the normal healthy range will have zero difference on your muscle mass. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your mood and erections will be better. Your muscle is not going to change based on that. Do pullovers work the chest or lats more? Depends on the person, depends on the form. We could argue that all day long, Benjamin. Coach sauna before cardio or after cardio? I don't know, whenever you're comfortable with it, honestly. Although, man, getting in a sauna and doing cardio after sauna, I don't know about that. I would be careful of that. You're dehydrating yourself with the heat, So it comes down to being free. No, Mike, no, stop worrying about that stuff. You're in the normal range, dude. None of that's going to matter that much. As long as you're at a reasonably healthy level, that stuff is not going to affect your gains. People confuse anabolic steroids and using gear with stuff inside the normal range. It's not the same thing. It really is not going to matter a significant amount. We're talking like your normal fluctuations of having different levels that you might have. You're talking about 0.5 pound of muscle over your lifetime. Right? Dudes start talking about, they even think, oh, TRT is going to put 10 pounds of muscle on you. No, that will never happen. Not even possible. It's not enough. Doesn't matter, Benjamin, just do the pullovers. Exactly. Joey just says, hey, coach, looking lean, brother. Appreciate it, man. We're coming along. I thought I was going to whoosh today, but I didn't. Back, I was like, man, I'm looking leaner, tighter. What's up? And I was up 1 pound. So I'm just going to keep doing the fasted cardio, keep the diet tight. I really thought I would be down. I was at 211 today. So, but it will go down this week. Tommy says, I'm proud of you, mate. You've come a long way and looking great. Only bigger and better to come. Appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you so much. Back over to the YouTube. King Veg says, good morning, coach. Is 9% body fat? No, 9% is realistic. 9% body fat is very lean, though. Like, we need to be clear. 9% is deep abs, full six-pack. You know, everything's pretty tight. Silver Air bodybuilders opposite of most, even though they do full body, like entire arm day inside of a whole body. Yeah. So Gianna Marco, I'm going to be doing tons more arm work. Like, you guys will notice the longer I do this, as I continue to get leaner and I'm not in as big of a deficit, I'm going to start doing a lot more arm work inside the full body. I'm going to prioritize my arms significantly. That's it, Jason. Your wish will come true. Just one more pay. That's why I'm not stressing it. Like, I feel like the fans stress my wishes more than I do. I don't really stress them. The high amount of cardio you're doing, you feel a bit better every day? Has it been slack on cardio? And I definitely feel it now. I feel pretty good, right? 9% is full six-pack. Must say that roughly 50. Well, maybe, Adrian. Yeah, I mean, at 9%, you should be able to see all the abs across the room. Like, 20 yards away, a guy who's shirtless at 9% body fat, you're going to see his full abs. You're probably going to see his obliques at distance, right? In terms of muscle recovery, I handle a lot of arm volume. Tendonitis is the real, exactly, which is what we have to think about. One reason I'm doing the band curls, a lot more of them now, I want to keep those tendons healthy, because as I increase the arm work, see what I mean? I want to make sure those tendons and the blood flow can facilitate it. Because, yeah, I'm going to arm specialize a lot more at this point, right? Because I feel like my big three, I can just do them heavy and then come in, do sled work for my other leg stuff. And I'm just going to do lots of weighted dips and pull-ups, which will still carry over to arms, but I'm probably going to start doing just more and more curls, you know, right? But my curls are not strong or fresh. I've kind of assessed it. So I'm not really losing strength there. Plus, I feel like the pull-ups are such a bicep stimulus for me. When I go way up to the top, it feels just like a curl. Like, I get just as much bicep activation and fatigue as I do on a curl from those. I've noticed that, which is interesting. Right. Mike says it would be better for beginners to bulk first then cut. Used to be skinny fat, now bulking. No, not necessarily. I don't think you should ever bulk fat. Just stop. I don't promote that idea anymore. I haven't in a long time. I think you should stay lean and focus on lean gains. So I don't think, no. I mean, lean bulk. So if you're at 155, just lean bulk from there. Just lean bulk. Is it worth wearing a heart rate monitor for strength training? I can't even envision why anybody would care about that at all, honestly, Adrian. Supersetting 60 squats reverse hyper could be a fast way to hit legs if they're not huge. Focus maybe once a week. Yeah, it could be. Right. I think in my case, just doing squat singles plus the sled work will keep my thighs big. Hell, my squat might actually start going back up. Honestly, even on the cut. I know from even when I did the Bulgarian stuff. But yeah. I think people undervalue how much sleds can blow your legs up. I think they really undervalue what sleds can do for your whole lower body in terms of hypertrophy. Will doing back extensions carry over to squats? It can potentially. Would you consider a lean bulk to be 10 pounds? No. 10 pounds in 4 months is a fatty boom batty bulk. That is mostly fat. That is not a lean bulk. 10 pounds in a year is a lean bulk. So assuming if you're not a complete rank novice, you're going to gain what? At most 4 ounces of muscle in a month, unless you're on a steroid cycle. Your first cycle. Not your third cycle, your first cycle. Failing that, I mean, so assuming you can gain in 4 months about a pound of muscle if you've been lifting a while, you gain 9 pounds of fat. Does that sound lean to you? So if you've been training long enough, you can gain about 1 pound of muscle in 4 months, which means you're late intermediate. You gain 9 pounds of fat. You shouldn't be putting on 1 kilo a month, guys. Exactly, Pepper and that. People forget that too when they start thinking that 2 pounds for a novice. That's not for the average person, right? That's not for the average person. The guy who gains 2 pounds of muscle a month is usually the 6'1" skinny guy. It's not the 5'8" guy who's starting at an average body weight. They're not gaining 2 pounds of muscle per month, right? Very rare. What if your beginner can expect to put on 25 pounds of fat? So the 2 pound a month guy, the guy who can gain 2 pounds of muscle a month off new gains, is the 6'1" guy who started at 140 pounds. That guy can do it. Average height guy, no. In terms of health, we all know how important legs are, but in your case, I think they're big enough for that in terms of aesthetics, the upper bodies. For me, arms. Gio Marco, my arms right now are the number one limiter for my aesthetics, along with my body fat. So yeah, I have to keep hammering the arms. I'll be an arm specialist for the most part with my actual weight room time, right? As long as I can keep a fairly elite total, I'm good on the big three. Yep. But yeah, I mean, even look at my legs in that thumbnail there, guys. I think I'm okay. Have you ever tried to drive fast? No, and I think drive fast are not good. Why would I do that, Adrian? No. I think you can maybe add 0.5 pound a month would be better, especially if you're. And I don't think that's unreasonable. Hey, feed me. How about people don't bulk at all? How about people who are at a healthy body weight just recomp? I mean, I get it if you're underweight. My arms are just over 16 right now, like a little bit over 16. Cold, I've never measured it pumped. I don't care. Pumped's irrelevant because you don't walk around with a pump. Suggestion for best machine for someone with chronic low back pain, disc pathology to build the lower back. You need to get a reverse hyper. Belt squat and a reverse hyper. Absolutely. All right. What's your opinion on hook grip with the back and forth in the comments? I'm going to try to switch. I don't just do mixed grip unless you can do. I mean, we can make a lot of arguments for or against hook grip. If you want to do hook grip, go for it. Yeah, but if you're like 10 or 12% body fat immediately, just right. But most people aren't, feed me. But even then, they could literally just stay at similar body weight. It's not going to matter much. As being sedentary effect, it might. Do you recommend calisthenics? I'm big on weighted body weight exercises, but just not regular. No, just normal calisthenics, I feel isn't quite enough. You should do your stuff weighted. But I like weighted body weight stuff. I'm big on dips, pull-ups, chin-ups with weight. Massive fan. Reverse hyper fanboy reporting, and there you go, Paul. What's up? I had Paul buy a reverse hyper, and he never looked back. I'm currently 165 pounds, 5'11", around 16 for everything. Or just use recomp or you get some lean bulk, either one. I don't think dudes need to worry about that as much as they think they do. You could just eat healthy and keep improving your physique. And if you're worried you're not gaining enough, just pump your food. I think most guys don't need to track and bulk and all this stuff if they're not doing stuff at a very high level. Like, quite frankly, you could just eat healthy and eat clean and just let your body weight land where it will. Dudes way overthink it. I know plenty of guys with amazing physiques who don't track any of that. They just eat clean and train hard. Will 300 milligrams of test shut down sperm production forever with an HCC? Too many variables. No, plenty of guys have no negative impact at all on sperm production from tests. Depends on the person. HCG can help bring you back online, yes. Does it matter if chains versus weight vests, etc.? Not really. It's just a matter of what do you enjoy and want to do in terms of just weighted body weight stuff. Reverse hyper belt squats for the win. Yeah. I mean, Paul, you have that combination. Paul's a client. He's got a belt squat. He's got a reverse hyper. We live on those things for him. People are just impatient. They want to focus on muscle growth, and they could be doing is forcing fat gain. That's the agreed GO marker. All they're doing is getting fat. They're trying to force growth. It's not happening. Coach, you don't need to track at all. Exactly. Again, you could literally just make minor adjustments or bump cardio or activity. You don't even really need to track. Plenty of guys just eat clean, right? Paul is one of my he's one of my middle-aged dad bod to daddy transformation guys. He doesn't care about his total, right? Great training message, Jason, on last training session. Thank you, Carol. I'm going to continue that trend. I'm enjoying that, right? And then I can come in and just focus on all my Teddy bounce. Focus on all my, I should get some super chats for that. Y'all should be paying me for them Teddy bounces, right? Right. But I digress. Right. How do you do that? What do you mean? You just do it, dude. Ain't nothing to do but do it, as Ronnie Coleman said. Yeah, Carol, we're going to keep doing that trend. I think it works really well to just do those training matches and get in focus on my hypertrophy stuff. And then we just, hammer the sleds for my other leg work, really. You have to actually have pecs. That's the key, man. If you got pecs, you can just be like, pow, 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 pow. Right? People think the energy surplus is only from food. If you're over 10% body fat, you have enough body fat to use as a fuel. Absolutely. Like you have a reserve. Dudes who are 15% body fat, there's no point in a calorie surplus. They're not gaining muscle faster. They could literally recomp the same muscle they could gain on the bulk. Literally. Just they'll lose a little fat. Right? Their body will tap a little bit into the body fat stores in between to get the little bit of extra energy it needs. Right? Naomi says, amazing. Well, thank you, Naomi, on Facebook. All right. So back over to the YouTube. For those who are unaware, I'm streaming on both platforms. We are Facebook and YouTube, both all on the bike. Is bulking at 13% body fat, then cutting. If you go to 21% body fat, you got fat for zero benefit. We used to hit sleds in college baseball. It's noticeable they help a lot with intramuscular coordination, athleticism, which helps another low. See how Jacob. And I'll go so far as to say you could literally build an elite squat doing only squat singles if you're on a sled and if you're jumping. I mean, so realistically, you can build your squat off sled work and plyos. And I mean a big squat while doing just a little bit of heavy lifting. It all carries over. As long as you're doing some squatting, heavy squatting for the movement pattern and the loading of it, you could literally build your squat off of sleds and plyometrics. And I don't mean, build a 400 squat. I'm talking a 500-600 pound squat. How do you feel about skipping for cardio? I don't think about skipping at all. Jason, good ab development, only doing compounds. Sure. I think it's possible. What if you don't have a sled, belt squat or leg press? I mean, either one works. But we were talking on the discussion of sleds. Sleds are a really useful tool. I mean, again, we're talking athleticism. So that's the other thing for me. I've been saying I need to be more well-rounded and athletic again. So there's a reason I'm messing with the sled work a little bit more, guys. Right? We are doing it for a reason. Tony D says, skip to my loo. Bring back the box jumps. I will eventually. We're going to bring back the box jumps. You got to bring them back. I have a pretty good plyo box, actually. I have that foam one, which is way better. We'll be doing some box jumps again. People get mad when we say bulking is generally useless when all they're doing is talk. We are doing is talking from experience and time wasting from bulking cutting all the time. Right? We're talking from experience as experienced lifters, experienced coaches who also are looking at the research on it. like they get upset, but it's true. But this person bulked and that person bulked, but you have just as many who didn't, right? That's like saying all these guys successfully built muscle. They successfully opened a door by hopping around on their left foot 3 times and saying ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Thousands of people did it and the door opened. Okay. Or you could have just made lean gains and done the training and ate correctly. In other words, you could have just reached up and opened the doorknob. That was an option. Coach, watch other guys start doing sleds again now that you're doing them again, right? That's how it works. People be copying me. They act like they don't watch me, then they copy me, right? Carol, you supplement your potassium to hit. I mean, my potassium is really high, Carol. I hit like 4 or 5 grams off my food. But I throw a little bit in my water. I add some potassium salt to my rice, so on. Yeah, so I'm just going to get rid of you. We've already know this is a him, so I'm just going to get rid of him. I knew it a long time ago. Dudes act like, no, you don't have to be patient for lean gains. It's not like you make less muscle growth. Yeah, I know many dudes that all they do is eat normally like a healthy person, maybe more protein than usual, and they got jacked. Their potential without knowing I know lots of guys who've never tracked. So they're never really bulking or cutting. A lot of them like, my weight didn't change that much. I just got bigger and more jacked and leaner year after year. I know lots of guys like that. It's a matter of time you go to bed as long as you get. I mean, it matters to some extent. You have circadian rhythms and hormones. In other words, if you go to bed at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., it is going to affect your recovery and stuff. Yes, obviously. You don't want to wait that late. Humans are not wired that way, right? We're not wired to be up for hours and hours after dark and go to sleep in the early morning, for example. Yes, that will affect, that's researched. We already know that'll negatively affect your hormones, your cortisol, everything. Like just your overall health. Shift workers get cancers at a higher rate, they die younger. Right? Been pretty heavily researched for 40 or 50 years. So yeah, it matters. So definitely if you're not doing shift work, your job doesn't require it, you absolutely shouldn't be staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning to try to get 8 hours of sleep. Right? Gamers. It's hurting your health and shortening your life, not just hurting your gains. Would you go back to college if you were fully funding? No, I literally don't have the time, Adrian. No, even if someone paid for the whole thing, I literally don't have the time or the effort. So no, even if it was completely free, probably not. Ziggy zaggy, oi. There you go, Peppermint. Tell them. All right, anything happening in the Facebook? It's been quiet for now. All right. I'm thinking about building out a home gym. How much do you think it would just to cover? I don't know, a few $1,000s will get you the basics. At least $2,000 will get you pretty good home gym. Which platform pays more? Facebook? Is that even a serious question? It ain't YouTube. Hey, Jason, do heavy squats work back? To some extent. I mean, they're not an amazing back builder, but they work some of your back some. I mean, they're not going to compete with a row or a pull-up. They work your lower back a bit, your traps a little, but it's mostly isometrically, so it's not a lot. They do work your erectors quite a decent amount, though. Right? I also think maintaining your weight is underrated in terms of difficulty. Losing fat is easy, but maintaining it is a real deal. Yeah. Do you prefer sled drags or sled pushes, and why? Oh man, we could argue that all day long. I like both. I mean, I think they both have their place. I mean, I think I don't have a favorite. I'm just going to leave it there. Push-ups did 50 daily in those. Or Mike, you just trained longer, so your shoulders grew. Jason says, you've been doing this walking streams. You ever been approached by women I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. Adrian, that is not a fitness question. Are you sure you're a real Adrian and not a troll? Because this is a couple in a row now. I don't think you're that real Adrian guy. I think you're an imposter pretending to be a regular poster. I'm about to investigate. No, it's the same guy. So why are you asking trolly ass questions? Or have you been a troll the whole time? All right. I've been watching your Bulgarian training videos. Your squat days shoot up pretty darn fast doing singles. Yeah. I bet them sled works the calves. Sleds work amazing for calves. I'd probably grow calves off nothing but sled work, honestly. Just fine. I think it's Adrian. He's a good poster. Yeah, I don't know why he's being super trolly today. He also asked another one that was up there that I deleted his comment. If one wants to focus on chest more than front delts with a lower incline, dips. I mean, dips would do that to some extent. Like if you cared more about your chest and your front delts, you wouldn't do incline work at all of any type, right? Like if your chest became a priority and you wanted to de-emphasize your delts, you would run from the incline. You would never do incline. Is one the best rep range for strength? Yes. All right. Have to be able to talk. Is extreme forward tilt and low bar squat a bad thing? No. Upright row versus overhead press for general delt growth. What would you choose? General delt growth, probably the upright row is probably going to do a bit more. But do you care that much? Right? Do you care that much about overdeveloped delts? If you're big, they're going to be big anyways. If you're lean, they're going to be capped. Does high HGH and P? I don't know about that. I probably not. What about upper chest incline favors that while working the middle? No, it doesn't. But you can build the entire upper pec major with flat bench and with dips. It builds it just fine. They both build the entire chest. If you mean the pec minor, that's a little bitty tiny muscle that runs under here. So yeah, it's going to hit that more. I feel traps on upright rows. Well, they're going to get worked on it. Go a little bit wider though if you feel them too much. That back shot when you're doing dips is pretty massive, right? Yeah, my back is definitely good to go. What do we got? Anything happening on Facebook? Whew. Any suggestions for lower chest? Weighted dips, bench press. I mean, bench press and weighted dips work the entire pec major top to bottom. Like we tend to spend more time in deeper sleep stages in the early part of the night, 10 p.m. to so it's definitely healthier. Yeah. What about decline flies? I mean, I guess, but is it really going to be better than the others? Just because you remove the triceps doesn't mean it's better. I mean, I have no issue. I think decline flies are fine if you truly need to isolate the pecs. But are you just not pushing those other big movements enough? Are they truly lagging enough to justify that isolation? If they are, by all means. Right? I get it. If they're lagging that much. Did those studies really show that? Show me one where we see more upper chest growth in an actual hypertrophy study. All right. Let's see. All right. So you need to train more. No. I've got dips. You've been very helpful though, Jason. Thank you. You're welcome, Jacob. And we're closing in on the hour. Yeah, let's skip on the trend here, guys. Trend is not worth it in terms of side effects. And the gains are so temporary. It's so much fake gain. It fades instantly. Dudes come off trend and within a matter of weeks, they're like, man, I swear like I've lost 10 pounds of muscle and gained 5 pounds of fat. What happened? Shift in the fluid balance. Trend does a lot with your fluid balance. It is very temporary. That's why guys like it. All right? Dramatic shifts in the way your body has fluid and fat versus muscle tissue. at one heck of a price in terms of side effects and health, though. So I say it's generally not worth it. Generally not worth it, guys. All right, we've hit 4 hours of cardio today. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down the Facebook. And I think it's time to wind down the YouTube. I love you guys and gals. I'll definitely catch you tomorrow for more.